Hi everyone, you reached Chronicles of the Gray Hair Diva. If this is your first time, welcome. If not, welcome back. For all of you out there, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you will be notified. Hit the like button, chat with me in the comments, and when I get an opportunity, I will chat back. And share my video with your friends and family so that they can come to my channel and get to know me also. I'm here today with my recap on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, so far, I think, what is it? Is this the second episode for this season or is it the third? I can't remember, but again, it was okay. Nothing life-shattering happened. I think that Kyle is continuing on this path where she's trying to be the queen of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, but she's falling flat. It's an epic fail as far as I'm concerned. We got Erika Jayne, who still feels entitled, okay? And then you have, for whatever reason, in my opinion, it's like the bullying. Everybody is like Sutton against everybody except Garcelle and now maybe Crystal. And isn't that ironic? So what happens at this particular episode? They're all going on a trip because Kyle has a store that she is partnered with someone else. She's opening her brick and mortar store. She wants all the ladies to come there, stay at her house out there and kind of, celebrate with her the opening of this store. Dorit wears one of the outfits. I will say this. Dorit clothes, they always fit her very well. Dorit, she knows how to put her outfit together, how to dress. And Dorit is actually very beautiful, okay? So Dorit is there. All the ladies are there. Some are staying in the house with Kyle and some others are staying in a hotel, right? And Kyle brings the dogs. Now listen, I love a four-legged friend, okay? Whether it's a dog, a cat. Well, we're just going to leave it at the dog and the cat because I don't think there's any other four-legged friend that I would want in my home, okay? So I love the dogs. I love the cats. And listen, she brought two of her dogs with her because I think she said she had four. The dogs snatching the food, eating off the plates. It was team too much for me. And then the dog just going at the counter and getting the food that was left on the counter. I was like, oh my, I couldn't handle it, but hey, they took it well, right? For the most part. So the ladies are all at the house. They go to the store, and at the store, they do a little bit of shopping. And listen, this Diane Jenkins, she has cash for days. So much cash that she says she no longer even has to go to a store to purchase her clothes. Designers just send her clothes. She try them on. Whatever she wants, she keeps. What she don't want, she sends it back. And I thought was like, well, you don't ever have to even go shopping for little mama? Or does your fiance go shopping for little mama? Does your fiance shop for his own clothes, or do they send clothes for you, little mama, and him? Like you never, ever, ever have to step foot in the store? Do these people send you your undergarments too, your bras, your panties? I get it. She wants us to know that she's kind of uber rich, but you mean to tell me just never, ever, ever, for not one single item do you have to step foot in the store? Listen, I don't like this, but she's not doing online. I personally don't like this online stuff. I can't stand it because then when you don't like it, you got to package it back up. Go find a store that accepts it, whether it's UPS, FedEx, or whatever. You got to go find a store that accepts this package in order to send it back. I'd rather just go to the store, try it on, and for the most part, know that I want that outfit before I leave the store. But hey, when you are super rich like that, I guess you literally can get everything sent to you and try it on in your house and then, send it back when you don't want it. So we learned that Diana Jenkins' outlet is not her thing. She doesn't go to stores. Now, what else happened in this particular episode that was worthy of talking? So, Erika Jayne. Erika wanted to make claims of she had $2 to her name. She was broke. She doesn't have money like that. She's not living, the lifestyle like that. Well, I guess rich people broke and broke people broke are two different things. And why do I say that? Usually when poor people are broke, that they're literally waiting until payday so that they can have some money, okay? Like literally waiting to payday. And may have to call a friend or two to give them a couple dollars just to get to work and survive into payday. But when you're Erika Jayne poor, you still get to have, I think it was 2 assistants in her house helping her figure out what clothing she is going to take on this trip along with the ladies. So I'm like, if you're pinching pennies, I think if it were me, the first thing I would let go are my assistants. And why? And my makeup artist and all of that. Why? Because I can really do that on my own. And that way, all the money that I have, it can be saved for me to pay my rent, my mortgage or whatever, and my car note and stuff like that. But no, when you're Erika Jayne poor, you get to still have 2 assistants. I think Erika is, in my opinion, a little delusional. She's saying, and this part I do get with her, right? She's saying that there's no criminal case against her. All the lawsuits are civil lawsuits. And there was this thing of comparing her to Jen Shah from the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, her situation and Erika Jayne's situation. And she's wondering why a lot of people were not outraged about Jen Shah. Matter of fact, they felt a little sorry for her because the feds came and picked her up. And she said, well, why is everybody ready to throw rocks at me? And I'm paraphrasing, guys. Why is everybody ready to throw rocks at me? And yet at her, she's been charged with something criminal and I have not. I think the outrage with Erika Jayne was that money was utilized, whether she knew of it or not, right? The household that she was in with her husband at the time and her going on chartering jets or having a jet and living this lavish lifestyle, that money, whether she knew it or not, was off the backs of victims and orphans and all of that. I think that's where the outrage come from. And I think it's a similar outrage that people had. I don't know if you remember that case. I want to say his name is Bernie Madoff. That whole Ponzi scheme. And that was based out of New York City. So many people, even though he claimed, and a lot of, and her children claimed also, that they had no idea what he was doing. It didn't matter. They treated his children and the wife so brutal, and I'm not saying that I was for this, but they were so brutal to them to the point where she was penniless at the end. And also she got shunned in her New York City community, pretty much from the building that they lived in, the hairstylist and everybody that she was utilizing, and all because they stole money from people that consider them to be friends, right? So I'm kind of correlating that case in Erika Jayne to let you know, like, why the people felt so outraged. It's like, you took money from vulnerable people, and whether you knew it or not, your husband allegedly did this, and the little people suffered. And I think that's where people got so pissed with her. And then I think that they're also pissed. It's like, you're here still flaunting your riches in our face, and there's people out there that were supposed to get money and they don't have it. So let's continue on. The store, Cow store, is I like it. I'm not particularly, I didn't like every piece. I don't know if I love the style of clothing that she and her partner have, but it did look good on Dorit. I think it's a certain aesthetic that you have to be into to like the clothing. But hey, I like the fact that she has a store. I like the fact that she's in business with somebody. It's woman entrepreneurship. I love it. So they're at the store, and for whatever reason, and I'm hoping that with Dorit, that this robbery doesn't become her entire season storyline. At some point, and I'm not being insensitive about this, at some point, I want them to stop talking about it. I want them to move on. Listen, I can't say for sure whether this situation was a true robbery or not. There's sprinklings out there where everybody's wondering, like, what really happened, right? And so I'm kind of past that now. But the part why I want her to stop talking about it is because I think the more she talks about it or they focus on it, the more details come out that people feel are just not adding up. So she's still kind of traumatized, which I get, about the situation. And they're addressing the fact that Sutton said something very insensitive, about Dorit and the robbery and the whole situation. Now, do I think that Sutton is I like Sutton, by the way. Do I think that Sutton is a little different? Yes. Do I think she can be a little kooky? Yes. Do I think that sometimes she has diarrhea of the mouth? I'm gonna say absolutely yes. She says things, and those things kind of hit people to the core, and then she's like, oh my God, I didn't mean it that way. And then she gets with the tears, and she wants to be forgiven, and it's a whole hot mess, right? So Kyle, of course, told everyone, because Kyle is like the bone collector of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, right? She collects the bones, and then she comes back and she throws them out in front of everybody, and then everybody gets into these big tiffs, and it's a mess, right? So Kyle let everybody know, including Dorit, that Sutton said these insensitive comments. Now, some people don't believe that this is the reason why Sutton said what she said. I connected with her story, right? And not because I had something similar, because I think that when you go through trauma in life, your body, our bodies are amazing, right? And our mind is amazing. And our body and our mind is always trying to protect us from anything. So, like when you get an illness, like every cell in your body goes to try to attack that illness and get it out your body, right? You ever eat something bad, and after a while your stomach is like, and then you feel like you gotta vomit it up? So our body is always in protection mode, and that includes our emotions, okay? When something traumatizing happens to us, our mind tries to protect us. And some people, they literally shut it out, like they remember nothing about the traumatic situation, and that's their way of, their body and their mind way of protecting them. So Sutton said that when she heard about Dorit's situation, it reminded her of the time where in her childhood, there was a robbery in her home, okay, and guns were involved. And then not only that, unfortunately, her own father, he left this world by taking his own life. So there you're dealing with a lot right there. So first of all, that's trauma when someone robs your home, similar to trauma that Dorit is going through, right? And then this trauma, your own dad takes his life. And that's traumatic for you, right? And I don't care at what age she did it, it's traumatic for you. So in order for her mind to deal with this trauma, anytime she hears something involving, weapons or guns or whatever, her mind probably tries to go to a different place to protect her, because it maybe start reminding her about her own personal situation. And we all have been there, and where someone says like, oh my God, I was in a horrific accident and I thought I wasn't going to make it. And if you were ever in an accident, you're like, I know how you feel, because I was in an accident. Every now and then I have nightmares about it. So that's Sutton's correlation. So she said, I said it was insensitive, but this is why it probably came out that way. And she wholeheartedly, apologized to Dorit. Now, I'm not Dorit, but I accept the apology. Dorit says she accepted the apology. Why can't we move on? But no, we can't move on. Why? Because these girls are these girls are these girls. So, at first I was like, I got to give this Diane Jenkins a chance, right? I said, I got to give this Diane Jenkins a chance. But Diane she's a little pit bull, right? She quietly, she doesn't get all riled up, if you notice. She throws out little nuggets or little pellets, and those pellets, they turn out to be big little bombs, because she plucks them out there, and there's something little coming at you, but then when it drops, it's like boom. You're like, hold on. So Diane want to say, Diane or whatever, she want to say, Sutton, she says things and she hurts people, and she just, she doesn't care what comes out her mouth. Like, I'm paraphrasing, guys, but she doesn't care what comes out her mouth. And then Erika Jayne sitting over there in agreement, And then, Kyle, because she wants to be the queen of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, she's going back and forth and just saying, how insensitive Sutton is. So now it's like the gang up on Sutton. But then what shocked me was over in the corner, Crystal was going through her own little thing. She was going through her own little emotions, right? And she called the ladies like hypocrites. And the reason why she called them hypocrites is like, she said, why don't you let people have their feelings? How can you tell somebody that their feelings are wrong or they're off or they shouldn't be feeling that way? And I do agree with Crystal. If someone says that, listen, that was a trigger for me, that's why I acted that way, how can you tell them, like, no, you shouldn't act that way, or how could that be a trigger for you? So Crystal brought back up what happened to her when Sutton walked in her room kind of unannounced, and she was coming out the shower and she felt the kind of way because she didn't have any clothes on. And she talked about her eating disorder. She said, all of y'all told me I used the wrong words, because she said I used the word that I felt victimized at that time. She said, all of y'all told me I used the wrong words, but now y'all being a hypocrite, by saying that, Sutton is, can't feel that way. It's the same type of situation. Well, Kyle was going in. Then Crystal just wanted to leave because she says, this is not a safe place for me right now. I want to go. Crystal, I think, I like Crystal. She's another one, just, whether it's her husband money or her money, just uber rich. And I think that at a certain point, no matter where you started, they always say it doesn't matter where you start, is where you end up. I think once they get to a certain level and they have that type of money, they live in a bubble, right? They live in this bubble that it's not in a bad way, but they can't even relate anymore to just regular things and regular people. And they get super sensitive. And I connected with Crystal, but at the same time, I felt like, okay, wow, like I didn't know what happened and what was going on, but I know Crystal, she had a lot of feelings, she had a lot of emotions going on, and she felt like the ladies don't care about her. Well, the thing is, I think Crystal's going to have to understand is that this is the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and these ladies, they will rip you to shreds and then call you for lunch 2 seconds later, and you just got to get used to it. And to say, do they care about you? I don't know if they care about you, because I don't even know how much they care about themselves and their own family members. So to say, do they care about you? I think you're part of a group and it is what it is, and they're going to do what they do, and you got to get used to it. So listen, guys, chat with me in the comments. What are you feeling about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills this particular season? Garcelle, she being a little messy. And but I'm liking her somewhat better this season, because she's being a little messy, but she's not letting people get away with as much. Because remember, she did confront Erika a little bit, and she did stick up for Sutton at this situation a smidgen. So but we're gonna give her credit for sticking up for her a smidgen. But listen, guys, chat with me in the comments. What do you think? I felt like they gained up on Sutton. I felt like it was dead wrong. Dorit is Dorit. I like the Kyle store. I do not like the way Kyle is acting this season. It's like somebody put a battery pack in her, and she feels like she can just disrespect everybody and do whatever she want to do so that she can be labeled the queen of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Erika is Erika. This Jenkins woman. I got an eye on her, but she's slick. And she says things toned down, and she's above it all, but yet she's here. She signed up for this, even though she's above it all. Thanks, guys, for watching. Don't forget, chat with me in the comments, and when I get an opportunity, I will chat back. Hit the like button, and I'll see you on the next video.